Our next speaker is Tarry Singh, the CEO and founder of DeepKappa.ai. With over 25 years of experience in data and AI, Tarry is known for his work in advising enterprise management and training organizations in AI implementations. He plays a significant role in simplifying AI for enterprises and has been a key figure in the AI community, contributing to its advancement and applications in various sectors. So Tarry, welcome. How to build and scale ultra-lean Gen AI startups. That's what we will hear from you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. So I really know the most important thing right now is lunch. And you guys are waiting. So what I'm going to do is not spend more than 30 minutes because I spoke to those guys before coming in. I said, when is lunch? They said 1:30. So I hope I can spend a few minutes with you guys to inspire you of some real world stories. And if you are patient enough on the 25th, 30th minute, there is a massive announcement that has already gone last night through my colleagues in Silicon Valley. That's something you guys, I hope, will also be able to be part of. So that announcement happened last night. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening this day, so I've been crazy busy. But first, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, right? So you guys are getting some plastic packets, and there's this thing about I want to unlock your brains because you're here in this conference, you're, going from one session to another, looking into your phones, and I just want to unlock your brain. I saw this experiment at a very one of my customers, let's say, and that customer, or the CEO of that company, is the one who manufactured this product. He did this wonderful experiment. I will do this with you because I want to unlock your brains. And I will not tell you what the goal is. You will get a time, the 30 seconds to do this, all right? But let's get started, actually. And as you guys keep coming in, the staff is going to keep giving you these little plastic packets of little Lego blocks. Building startup is actually building Lego blocks. And without much ado, let me just start with this. So the talk is building ultra-lean AI startups. That's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. And I hope to give you some experience, and I want to give you 2 product demos. I hope I can do that. So do please stay. It's in the end, I know. I should start with that. Keynotes are supposed to be inspiring, so I will give you some inspiration. All right. Do stay. If you please stay, you will get to see 2 really awesome startups that we are right now bringing to the world. This is me. That's fine. This is the Real AI, is an enterprise AI company. It's a company that was born out of DeepKappa Labs. It's an enterprise, serving enterprise customers. This is how we build startups. I'm not going to give you long lectures on how to build startups. I'm sure if you are building a startup or are part of a startup, and some of my colleagues are here who've been doing this for a number of years, they know how that is. The only difference in AI startups is this part. Technology, product, business, I'm sure most of you have experience with. So this is a little bit of a differentiation. This is the management team, and that's where I am. All right. Okay. So, okay, does everybody have this little plastic packet? Raise your hands. Everybody. Let's do it. Raise your hands. And hands down. Who does not have these? Okay, so can we get those guys? Yeah. This is a 30-second experience of you. And when I say press go, you have to go, okay? So if you want to sit next to someone because, it's anxiety, you're going to be like, oh, I have to make this. You have to make a duck out of this Lego block in 30 seconds. I'm giving you already runway time. So ideally, I would, and I will entertain you while you're building it, but please lock yourself out. Don't listen to me. I am not important. You have to focus on making the duck. Yeah? And, okay? Don't listen to me. I don't want to speak in Arnold Schwarzenegger's tone. But the timer starts, not now. You press enter on the slide. The video has to play. No, go back, go back, go back. Enter, it's a video. You're getting runway time. Take advantage of it. Cheat, cheat. Build that duck. The timer has started. All right, guys. So this is really important. We have a winner. You cheated. You cheated. Never mind. Go ahead and build your duck. If you want to get creative because you've already done it because you've been cheating, build something else. Build a little server cage. I don't care what you do. Build it, every one of you. If you're uncomfortable, that's okay. Sit next to someone. Okay, go on. So this experiment, 30 seconds have passed. All right. I'll give you another 15 seconds. Another 15 seconds. Build. I want to see you making. Have you built it? Okay, very good, Alex. All right. So, I mean, listen, guys, I'm not going to stand there, okay? So, it could be an alien creature you have created, all right? So, what is this? It's like a wow, it's like a transformer. Okay, all right. Marina, come on.
Yes,
It's happening.
already made.
Okay, this is wonderful. I really want to see this because this is the most important thing. This is like a goose. You see, listen, I mean, guys, this is awesome. Oh, I heard a quack, quack. Awesome. So, Reno, this is an experiment which the CEO of Lego, Jørgen, anyone from Denmark here? Anyone from Denmark? So Jørgen, he saved Lego from bankruptcy 20 years ago, 21, 22 years ago. They wanted to outsource the manufacturing of Lego bricks to a huge manufacturer in Singapore. He was a McKinsey consultant. He was brought in. He said, no, we're not going to do this. The founders, the creator of the Lego, Leggot is let's play in Danish. He said, no, you're ruining the company. He saved the company. Long story short, I met him. It was also one of my customers. And one of the most fascinating CEO, responding to every email, just like Jeff Bezos. I know I sent him a mail a couple of years ago. My son had, we were at the design center in Billund. Billund is the place where Lego offices, where they design Lego bricks. And the amount of creativity it goes to actually build that company. He rebuilt the company. Today is one of the best companies in the world. And I know that his responsiveness, he was somewhere in Malaysia back then. He was saying, Terry, I cannot answer your call because I'm opening a new Lego land, but your son is going to meet my head of design. So, keeping your mind open and building these beautiful little things, take them home, try funny experiments. But this is how I wanted to unlock your mind. I will help you sort of rewind your mind with an experiment that I do on a regular basis to really put myself out of that zone of, attention issues, and then essentially, try to build companies together with my team. I hope I can give you some inspiration. But let's get started with the Gen AI. I'm going to go fast because I know you guys are hungry. If I'm going too fast, stop me like, oh, hey, I have a question, Terry. But so the biggest thing about AI, and I'm going to only talk about the decoupling. That is the most important thing we should worry about. Not worry about what the boardroom drama happened in OpenAI, or why I'm not building a startup. I met one of the young gentlemen standing there. He was saying, I want to listen to how you build startup and entrepreneurship, and I hope this will inspire you, because it inspired me. I worked with some really smart people, and I'm fortunate to build some startups today, and which are revenue-generating startups, and I hope you can stay. So let's go fast. So this you guys already know. Gen AI is doubling the worker productivity. It's going to happen. It's going to really happen. And is already happening, honestly. I mean, I made a press release, which I'll show you last night. I don't need a press officer. I did it. We have a media company in San Francisco. where I'm a board member. I did it myself. A lot of things I'm doing myself that unfortunately bears a sort of a dark cloud to people who have been doing this for a living, copywriters, marketing experts. But the productivity of, generally all of us is going to multiply. The trading cost of these services is going to drop as well. And the announcement that I'm making on the slide number, I think 29, that's very important for you guys to know what I mean by that. And it's going to boost the economy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but anyways, here you're going to see the coding, et cetera, is becoming very fast. Today you can say, okay, make a script. Here is a table. Here is a CSV file from an Oracle dump, a SQL dump. And here is the code base. I want you to build 20 scripts of procedural code. It can already do that. Stuff I used to do when I was a database Oracle certified master. I used to be very proud of creating extended queries and subqueries. Who's from database here? Anyone from databases? You're also OCM. But again, I mean, now, we are thinking the AI is becoming OCM. When you write an elegant subquery, it just shows how beautifully I'm trying to think and get the information out of those joint tables. But it doesn't matter anymore because it's all going to change for the good. Now, remember this part of the decoupling sort of aspect. I did show this last time in DSC Adria a few months ago and made some changes. So if you've seen that, I would really want to encourage you to, again, do the decoupling of your mind and think about creativity. So if you see, a lot of companies today, Anthropic and a couple of companies that you may know by now, are stuck in this zone. And they are slowly trying to move into this zone. And what I mean by that is, this is electricity. When there was alternative current and direct current, there was a lot of battle between these two guys, right? Edison and his arch enemy, Kensington. Eventually, the alternative current won because through long distances we can provide electricity. That's how AI is going to be. So here, this drama here that happens is huge cost to train those servers to make AI and make things actually useful for the world. But the thing is, not everyone has hundreds of billions of millions of dollars to do this, right? So when these things started coming up, that's when the true benefits of electricity actually came to play, all right? Household appliances, factory motors, and lighting, factory mechanical drives. This is a really old slide from 1989. So it basically shows that this is the green zone. And think about this. This is a placeholder for you. Okay, I still think I'm talking more than I should be talking. Anyways, so here, this is your AI stack, okay? The thing is, these are our industry verticals, and this is the lost value because this is the zone of opportunity. This is where you can build these services, appliances, maybe your AI model that you have, you're doing PLC programming to put it on chip, sell to your customers. So there's a lot of huge opportunities available, all right? And as you can see, even if the world, let's say when OpenAI was shaking its roots, we thought we're ruined, we're gone. If OpenAI dies, unfortunately, all that stuff I've been selling and building AI startups is going to fail because nothing's going to happen. Even in base scenarios like this, you're talking about a value sort of, economy rising to about $45 trillion. Even in the base case, that's in, not in the very aggressive case. I'm pretty sure we are somewhere in between the base and the bull case. The bear is that, there's global wars happening. Unfortunately, they are in many parts of the world, that their economy shuts down. But I'm hopeful that we are definitely somewhere here. So there's a huge economy out there. Meaning a room for all of us to play, all right? So let's go to the productivity. This will be fast. So as you all know, if you were a belt maker, so Herman was a belt maker back in 1850. That's all he knew. His skill was in that green area, and that's all he did. He wakes up, gets the leather, stripes it, punches the holes, and sells it to whoever he can. Then we had this area where we started knowing a little bit more things. What are the things this gentleman could do? You could do parts installation. Your skills were getting better, so we were feeling in control. Sure, there was a mechanical revolution happening, locomotives and all these other sort of electrification, industrialization, 2.0, 3.0. But we still were in control because we were the masters of our expertise. These were 4 skills. And then you have these guys coming in, and most of these guys, as you know, have raised $1 billion, started, they're all billionaires, they were all engineers like OpenAI, right? So OpenAI guys today will be the billionaires for the next 10, 20 years. That doesn't stop you from guys to also raise your startups and do wonderful stuff. But here, then you're talking about people who had more skills, you know? They're fast speaking, they're doing a lot of stuff, product management, coming up on stage and talking, going back to the laptop, doing stuff, getting investors on board, building. So those kind of skills, all these people in this room, including this Peter Thiel, here is Reid Hoffman, who was the one who was instrumental in bringing OpenAI to existence together with Elon Musk, et cetera. Elon Musk obviously was there, also there with his Zip company, X.com. Anyways, long story short, you're talking about a bunch of more skills today. And what I am predicting, and I think it's going to happen, is that you're all these agents that will be developed over time, GPT on top of GPT, or your own model is going to happen as well, leaving a lot of room, not just for these people to be extremely wealthy and technologically wealthy as well, but also having tremendous amount of skills. So agents to do like 25 to 30 to perhaps 50 tasks, like the press release, that I'm talking to my teams. We're moving, and we did a huge sort of migration yesterday with just 3 guys, and I'm thinking, wow, I mean, in 10, 15 years ago, I would need like 24 people to do migration of our platform, et cetera. So a lot of things are automated, and we're able to do it, and I'm sure you guys too can. So, so this is primarily the skill that we all have, we possess, all right? So if I may ask, just to keep engaging you, because I don't want you to sleep off. So if I ask you, what is your key skill? That is something you think, this is who I am. 99% of the time, I am the person for this job. This is who I am. Abstract thinking. And you think you can get a job with that? Yeah? Then you have great presentation skills. So you actually have more skills. That's okay. So essentially, you have a skill to, some people have distributed skills. The most important thing is, as human beings, we're very creative, right? When I used to work in large strategy house management consulting companies, we used to measure, we used to call this is just an I map. This is a T map. So in T map is best. So you are very good in your sort of depth, your industry sort of expertise. You could be data scientist, you could be geologist, you could be endocrinologist, any other skill that you have. And then you have a skill in which you're able to do project management. So you're a soft speaker, as in you have soft development skills. And you could perhaps also be a consultant, meaning you're able to understand more aspects of a business problem. So TMAP, it's very common in large companies, Capgemini, KPMG, all these people, they use that. That's how they do performance management of their own people. That are you developing? Are you expanding your wings? Are you learning some stuff? I'll keep a track of my time, 27 minutes left. Okay, we're still on track. So this theory of M square is where I spoke about in Adria a few months ago. So I think it's difficult, by the way. So I'm an engineer. I'm a developer, so I have infrastructure skills. I mean, it took 30 years to develop, okay? Let's be fair. Java, databases, infrastructure, then I went to data center building, all the things I was learning, just learning, And then virtualization was a skill I owned. I understood the chip architecture, the ring architecture of Intel processors, Intel chips. Because I wanted to understand how virtualization works. I really wanted to understand how do you build a disk, a memory, a networking, even GPU, so virtual, vGPUs, that's all that stuff, right? And I participated in the cloud computing economy. I also wrote a bunch of papers 15 years ago. So I think I reached this state already, like when I was 37, 38. So today I'm 53. So this is already a very good way to kind of, branch out and say, okay, I want to do something. Now what's going to happen is, so you have your human ingenuity. We just did the ducks, and I saw goose, I saw transformer, and all those wonderful things. This is coming from your beautiful brain that has a computer chip, the visual cortex. You have an amazing sort of capacity to do at least over an exaflop of operation on a 20-watt chip that is here. That's what we are, and we have to always remember that. Let's not get carried away or be confused or dazed by all the AI talk, because it's you who are creating this, okay? I'll give you a couple of examples where people have understood one domain and figured out a big solution in another domain. So human ingenuity is really key. Do not underestimate this. Without people, all the people, and even, guys, you were saying, without people, OpenAI is nothing. Everyone was tweeting, right? Just a couple of days ago. It is a fact. It is a fact. These people have built those models. So this is ingenuity, creativity, doing wonderful stuff. And I have a deep fortune of having people who trust me and want to be with my companies. And Gen AI will allow you to kind of sort of multiply those. And I don't know, some of you will have possess like 17, 20, 35, 100 skills. You're able to project. People already are saying, I'm sitting on a beach and I'm doing this. AI is doing all the work for me. Perhaps it's true, perhaps not. I don't know. So the M square is where this M of my skill set, and then a couple of things that I know I can do and let AI do for me. And then you have this multiplication, and then essentially sort of, this is how you can actually roll, and you can do really, really a lot of exciting things with your work. So this is really key. This is how I think. This is just something I sketched and I made. AI wouldn't be able to do such things. So this is coming all from our brains. And how do I tell these things to people I work with? All right? Okay. All right. So now is the second. It's not an exercise, but I just want you to really think when you go home after this wonderful conference and think about what is it that actually I can do? Because remember I showed you those two placeholders, the green zone, the breadth of the space that is remaining for all of you to build things. We haven't built anything yet. We just have a bunch of large language models that are trained on, Common Crawl and a bunch of other corpus, and that's it. There's nothing else going on, guys, okay? You have to build those applications. You have to build those chips. So now, the red zone is where you should not be or thinking about. Meaning, oh, I need an infrastructure. I need like tens of thousands of GPUs to train, let's say, create a new language for Serbia, or in the Middle East, I have a project. I would like to train large language model for Kurdish or Arabic or some other language where the world has not laid much focus on, because I just cannot do this. No one is going to give me 50 million. Forget about 50 million. They'll say, just go away. I don't want, we are going to just invest money in people we know. And so what's going to happen is you either will think that you cannot do it, so you will not do it. You will try to do it like a few companies are doing it. Like one example is Stable Diffusion. They've done a wonderful stuff, but they were burning, I don't know how much. I think it was tens of millions of dollars a month just on AWS computing costs, because to create all these images that you guys are using. So, and all that money is gone, right? So they raised like 105 million. And so this is a dangerous place to be, and a bunch of other, they will be victims of this AI revolution. So get out of here. You have to get out of here, literally. But this is the green zone. So there is breadth and there is depth. So you will create custom chips. Sam Altman is also working, or at least has plans to build a chip, because obviously Microsoft cannot keep paying tons and tons of cash to NVIDIA. We are NVIDIA partners, but I mean, just to be honest, right? So there are RISC architecture, there are ASIC architecture, that's really evolved to a point that we can actually do some interesting things, right? Reduce the cost, because they want to reduce the cost of inferencing. They reduce the cost of training, doing all kinds of interesting stuff to optimize, like quantization pruning. I'll show you a really example from one of our companies that I'm building. And that will lead you to either build a service, which, be careful, is always a risk for cannibalization. As you know, someone will say, oh, I built a GPT on top of GPT, and you'll be working with 6, 7 people. There's going to be room, there's going to be cannibalization happening there. You could build a hardware service, small PLC or perhaps a small chip manufacturing to solve a very specific problem. Or you could build platforms, you could build appliances. So this is the world. I don't know, actually. I just put this thing here because you're the one. You are going to define what's going to come here, all right? I'm trying to define what's going to come here. This is not a lecture. I mean, this is the reality. This is what we're trying to do. all of us, all of you guys. I really think, this wonderful conference where you are coming and trying to learn, I really hope that you will think, work with guys, bring 2 Lego ducks and make a gigantic duck or something crazy monster, and that's the wonderful service customers want, all right? So the green zone, this is where building your product, you should lay focus on this. Remember your appliances and the bulbs and all these little appliances we keep buying on the internet, they're all, we don't need to worry about the electricity, the grid. It's just, you can use that. So think in terms of building your startups from that perspective. So 20 minutes left. So I'm glad that I can show you the demos, and then hopefully I can take questions, because that is the most important part of any talk that I do. And I hope that you will ask me difficult, impossible questions, gut-wrenching questions, and I hope that I can learn from you guys from that, all right? So again, the moat is find a really, really hard problem to solve. That's where your ingenuity will play like 80% of a role. 20% is your tech stack that's going to help you sort of build that software, appliance, service, or packing it all up in hardware, software, and services stack. The second is, I would really advise you guys, and we've had some success, and I hope I can show you that today, in working on smaller, complex, and private data set and helping customers actually build their intellectual property around those specific problems, because that's what they care about. None of the customers is saying, let me upload all my data set into OpenAI, and yeah, we have no idea, right, where the data set is going to go. There is, because right now Microsoft has enterprise customers worldwide, so they will see some learnings from Daimler or CAT or some other, Caterpillar or some other sort of data scientist uploaded something. Mistakes are being made as well. Be careful, but work with your customers to actually build this. Do also definitely think about designing explainable AI systems, so design them from the foundation, and I hope the announcement that I can show next is this. So, I was here day before yesterday. We had submitted a project like a year ago. So this is just announced midnight, San Francisco time, so 9 a.m. this morning was announced. It's already now circulating. This is a massive project. Let me give you the scale of this while you read this. Let me entertain you. So Leonardo is the fourth, I think it was a year ago, was the largest data center in the world. So I was struggling with the same problem. Remember the red box, the get out of here. I was like, I'm never going to be able to do something like this. But we've been working on our generative sort of strategy for like 5 years. We've done a bunch of work, really interesting projects, sexual harassment, detecting depression. So we've used these transformer-based models and the predecessors to those, like GANs, to actually solve some problems. So we were building up, we were ramping up brick by brick, right? The way we did our Lego blocks. But still, I had my duck ready, but I had no water. It's like, where is this baby gonna go? So we submitted this like almost a year ago. This project is for us to now boil the ocean on behalf of Europe, meaning we can do this, and this problem is now solved for me. Obviously we have a significant amount of time, or a year, a little longer than a year, and you're talking about 4,000 GPUs. So these are, you can think in terms of 336 days of 24/7 we could crunch. Now this does not sound, obviously, environmentally the best thing I'm declaring here, and sure, we're not gonna do that. We'll reveal in the next couple of weeks on the architecture, because that's our intellectual property. There's a lot of interesting things that we're looking at trying to, we have the encoder-decoder architecture and a bunch of other things that we have proposed, and we won this project just day before yesterday. We led this announcement, the partnership with NVIDIA and University of Naples. We have assembled a team, and I guess when I get home, we're gonna get cracking on actually building our first large language model that is designed from its foundation to be, it will have, a correction mechanism around fact checkability, and it will, we're trying to build it from design so you can, one, explain it, Two, reduce its hallucination capabilities by doing and building prompt tuning, prompt engineering into it. So there's a tremendous amount of work that's going to go. I think the size of this project is, and I need to probably, it's around 50 million. If you're a VC and you want to invest in this project, I'm going to be on road shows immediately after this to raise 100 million for this little project already. That is why for smart people like you guys, because I want the smartest people in the room. I'm not buying 100 million because I already have like a year to actually boil the ocean. So this is a massive news, and I'm still kind of trying to absorb that. Wow, it happened. We did it. So this is what I'm announcing here, the Data Science Conference, and I hope you have questions you should come to ask me, because a couple of things are confidential. I would be stupid to kind of share with you the architecture that we have proposed. Okay, so let's see, how much time do we have? 15 minutes. This is one of the sort of artifacts. It's an MLOps platform, but I will show you specific to LLMs. I don't want to show you the whole MLOps stack. So as you know, there's a lot of platforms that have been building MLOps. And solving data ingestion, sort of data processing, and then you're preparing the data, and then you're training the data. You have to optimize the data. You have to design explainability and interpretability and those kind of concepts into your system. But what we realized that there is no, and we've tried all these, ML flow and everything else. There is no reproducible flow. That is one. Two, data for a modality is a problem. So, when you work in exotic industries, like when you are working in oil and gas sector, right? So oil and gas, as you know, there is a subsurface world which is powering the whole sort of world today, right? So, so the subsurface, you have to scan, map, and essentially sort of try to understand and use AI to do that. None of vendors, even big vendors who work with Exxon and Shell, et cetera. There's a huge vendor community, obviously, Schlumberger, Baker Hughes, all these guys, and Halliburton, et cetera. And these guys have built the software around it. But there is no sort of software that is solving some specific problems, like how to be able to look at at nanoscale cracks inside a rock, perhaps 2,000 meters after the sediment layer, and then you have the rock formation. These rocks from 65 to 70, 100 million years old, and as pressure builds in, these cracks are forming. So reservoir, right? The reservoir where the oil drips. Oil literally drips like drops. It's just little drops, coming thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. It just drops, and that's how you're finding the resources. But where are they? They don't know this. So we built this technology. And there, if you put a standard workflow, it will say the DLIS file, which is for a massive file that they have to sort of ingest. It's just not going to work. Two, it's not even an image. It's just a reflection of an electrical sort of signals that you send when you're digging into the ground. So we realized this is a problem. And it really demands a sort of, and customers don't want stuff to be in the cloud. So we said, okay, we need to build something that we can scale down and scale up as required by per individual customer. We have to focus around, the ecosystem, meaning a lot of people are building open source software. So how can we take advantage of it? And the deployment is going to be sort of elastic. So you should be able to sort of, infer any target with, your C ABI. And these are the three things. I'll just focus on three things that are specifically focused on your large language models, because I thought that was interesting. But obviously, the other stack is already there. I hope they can play the video. So, okay, the three things are, so quantization and pruning, right? So you know that you have a floating point, 32, 16, but how do you quantize a model? Because eventually, when you train corporate data, it will also lead to like a 10 gig or maybe 20 gig or perhaps even a 100 gig model. And how do you sort of quantize those models, right? Without sacrificing the performance of the model. The second is pruning, and the pruning is basically you should be able to disregard the weights inside those models. And how do you do that? And the last is it has to be a performance sort of inferencing engine, and it must have a runtime to run those quantized models, meaning reduced, optimized models. And then you have a hub, and that allows us to sort of securely and privately create this. And I hope I can run this video. You might have to press enter, guys. Let's see.
Introducing Radix, the cutting-edge toolkit revolutionizing the world of AI model optimization.
It's playing. Can you press enter?
Introducing Radix, the cutting-edge toolkit revolutionizing the world of AI model optimization. Today, we're thrilled to dive into two powerhouse subtools that are set to transform the way you approach AI deployment: quantize and prune. First up, let's talk about quantize. With Radix Quantize, say goodbye to memory woes. This powerful subtool allows you to seamlessly convert large AI models from resource-hungry formats like F32 or F16 to incredibly efficient ones, such as BF16 or QF4M. What does this mean for you? Significant memory savings, smoother deployment, and improved performance, all while maintaining the integrity of your models. But that's not all. Meet Radix Prune, the game changer for lightning-fast inference. Prune is designed to surgically remove redundant weights from your models, streamlining them for optimal speed. Imagine running your AI applications at unprecedented speeds without compromising accuracy. With Prune, it's not just possible, it's a reality. Whether you're a developer aiming to deploy AI models on edge devices or a data scientist looking to optimize models for the cloud, Radix is your go-to solution. With Quantize and Prune, we're putting the power of efficiency in your hands, allowing you to do more with less. Ready to take your AI models to the next level? Dive into the future with Radix and experience the seamless synergy of Quantize and Prune. Efficiency redefined, deployment simplified. This is the promise of Radix.
This is my chief architect who used one of the AI tools to actually say, I'm not comfortable speaking Tarry. I said, okay, fine. So, I mean, it looks pretty realistic, right? Demo worthy. So the inferencing is the last part to basically have a performance no dependency. So we're building in Rust this inferencing engine, or a runtime, I should say, for these quantized models. That's the third. So quantize, prune, infer, and then eventually, then you have the hub. I guess, you know, hub is a small video. If you guys can just press enter. Let's see. And we still have 8 minutes, so I'm still in time. Just 2 more minutes, and then we're done. And then we're going to do questions, and we're going to go have a nice lunch.
Imagine a hub where innovation meets control, where sharing and distributing your AI models is not only seamless, but entirely in your hands. Welcome to Radix Hub, a game-changing platform that empowers you to effortlessly distribute your trained or fine-tuned models, all while enjoying the familiarity of Git and Docker technologies. Whether you're looking to share your groundbreaking models with the world or collaborate seamlessly with your team, Radix Hub simplifies the process. It's not just a hub, it's your hub, a central space where innovation and control converge. Security, transparency, and efficiency, Radix Hub has it all. It's time to break free from limitations and embrace a hub that adapts to your needs, giving you the freedom to share and distribute models with confidence.
Awesome. So this is the MLOps platform that is under development. We already have, we've already funded it. There's a small government funding as well. And right now we are talking to VCs and trying to raise capital for that little MLOps startup. That's one. There's another startup which I'd love to sort of share with you guys, and hopefully it can inspire you to build an app as well. So I've already put in 100K into it, and we're demoing it currently with VCs because they're really interested in, you know, what kind of stuff are you building with the large language model. And in the announcement, you've already seen, so I'm super excited that I can now actually go out and have our own model. Because it's one thing to have subscribed to GPT or Claude 2 or, you know, all these models that are out there, but it's another thing to actually build your own data set. Not everyone has the fortune. I do think that if you're able to assemble enough capital, you know, you don't need more money like OpenAI has needed to build those, because we are learning from their mistakes. You can still actually build, you know, reasonably sort of sensible private data sets through which you can build very intelligent applications for any enterprise that you may be working with, as long as obviously you're doing the duck experiment and exercise together, right? So here, what we thought is, you know, and we've been thinking about it for like a long time. GPT-2, when it was released, if you remember, if memory serves all of us well, they were also saying it's too dangerous to release, don't do it, and all that marketing publicity really helped OpenAI. But it's, you know, there are issues with the design aspects of these language models. They're not going to go away. But we thought that there was no way to check, verify, and fact check these you know, outputs that you get from these models. They will always continue to hallucinate. You can prompt engineer. You will have to focus also around, how can you avoid prompt injections, that you do not have, so you don't ruin your prompt engineering sort of exercise. So this is the tool. Actually, it came to us through a politician, a Belgian politician. She reached out to me. She said, listen, I'm the only person. I'm an independent candidate. And I cannot answer all the questions in the parliament because I'm not an expert in nitrogen or in migration crisis because, if the ruling party member or any of the sort of ruling parties in the parliament, they're talking about it. And as you know, the opposition leaders, they have like 5 minutes, not more. The Speaker of the House says, okay, your time is up, next. And then, they're not able to come with articulate and fact check those things that they're saying. So how do I do this, Terry? Can you help me? I said, okay, this is going to require significant effort, especially around sort of building a solution. There are already models out there like GPT and Claude, et cetera, and Llama. So how are you going to do that? So I said, okay, we spent actually not a long time, like 2.5 months, and we were able to build this app that has generated a lot of curiosity. Because eventually you need something trustworthy. Any output that you're making, you need to be able to stand behind it, especially if you're a doctor, a politician. You don't want to be made fool of, right? You don't want to be ridiculed in the industry or within your peers. So this is the app we are developing together with a software partner. So we can show you the app already. So as you know, this is what I was just explaining. So this is a widespread misinformation. It is actually a huge problem people face. It will polarize us more if it's talking about subjective aspects around your well-being or your preferences of faith or other issues. And we need to kind of, how do we sift facts through the immense amount of garbage that will come on internet. So it is a huge problem that needs solving. And that's why we thought that it is the time now to release Polygen, and Polygen as in policy and Gen AI. I think we need to change the name because I believe this domain is taken. But like I said, it's a little fresh baby project. And I'm happy that I have a nice runway now, thankfully, to this new project we have won. So we are building a prompt preset playground. So you preset it. I'm more than happy to share you as the app here. I have it on my phone. So the preset playground is for you to design how you want to do the querying and how do you want to do the indexing, which indexing engine you want to use, how do you want to chunk it, what should be the chunk size. All that control 99% of the people don't have. So we're building a preset playground for your specific entries. You can say, this is what I want you to find. Focus on these specific sort of aspects. Time is running out. I know you guys are running away. Normally I would block you. But, it's just, say something, I'm just kidding. So the sophisticated output is only coming when you're doing good prompt engineering. You have control of which models I should choose, what should be the type of summary. Sometimes you can choose between compact, etc. I can show you here, anyone who's interested later. And finally, fact-checking and copywriting. So these are the 3 steps we want to solve. And these are the features right now. There's a lot happening in each sort of couple of hours. My developers are working on sort of building it. So primarily, you have a playground. You can create the presets here. And then you have a document. You can generate it. There are 3 steps. There was a much wider pitch deck, which I thought wouldn't bore you guys with it. And once you have done a generation, it does a summary. But like I said, you can decide yourself, what do you want it to be? So that all you can build in the playground here in preset. You can change language, all simple features. You can download the document and you can actually produce it. But before you do anything of that, you need to do fact checking. There are a couple of sort of channels, including also open dialogues that is happening on Twitter. So how do I assemble all these informations? And how do I bring these? You can, when you have an output, you can also edit it back, and then you can produce it. So human and machine should help, I hope, with this app to actually sort of engineer a great output, which is what you want, at a fraction of your time. So, and that world is still not there. This was the last slide. These are all interesting developments. I hope next time I will be definitely in Austria, as well as hopefully, if Alex invites me. I'm very grateful that I've been invited. I want to do a better job next time to hopefully excite you. I'll bring some another exciting experiment. But this was my talk. I know I'm 1 minute. I don't know how many questions we have.
We can take a couple of minutes first to congratulate on this breaking news that you gave us, and of course we're going to ask how can we join the project. That's the one question. But let's see what questions do we have here. Microphone.
So I have a question regarding this Mode 1 that you've shared about building your own startup. I wonder how are you defining this really, really hard problem to solve? Because we've seen people were working on this rack, then they were working on AI agents, and they were all killed by OpenAI new features announced on their day. So what's your definition of really, really hard? Shouldn't it be less hard but more unique instead, or something like that?
Yeah, okay, I definitely need to clarify. When I say a really, really hard problem, does not mean that you never reach a point beyond your runway and you can never fly. When I say a really, really hard problem is just working together with a team of people to identify, are there more complexities we can solve with the ingenuity that we have in our head? I can architect it, I can sort of perhaps use different internals or in the kernel to actually answer that problem. So when I say really, really hard, I mean from the perspective of customers. Customers actually, the thing is you guys are all data scientists here and all leading teams of that. But you know, like I know, customers are very, very separate, far separated from what you guys, they think like you guys are like crazy guys, AI, stay away. So their really, really hard problems are easy problems for you to solve. The only thing is people are not talking to enterprise customers. They should. If you talk to your enterprise customers, they will tell you some really complex problems, like I want to understand how can I figure out the procurement and our contract management and our sales, that they have a holistic view of where is value with the vendor ecosystem that we are working with. I don't know, this is still, for you, it's a very simple problem. But for a customer, it's like, how do I bring these departments together? So these are the internal problems in enterprise that you should think of. And the other aspect of a really hard problem is you have to build this startup that is defensible and is not ruined by the next update of OpenAI. So it is also in your favor to actually to create sort of complex constructs like your moats to actually save your company. So one is a real hard problem to solve. The other is to stay in the business to solve more of such problems. I hope this helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Here?
I know it's lunchtime. I didn't eat your time, I hope.
If there's anyone with a question, just tell us so we can bring the microphone fast.
Okay, thanks for the brilliant presentation. It was very interesting. And for me, to continue with the previous question, you discussed a bit what is a hard problem. And you, in your presentation, you used the words red zone, green zone, as the zones where you should be with your startup in order to progress. And this is much in line with the concept of blue ocean, red ocean.
Yeah.
You are definitely familiar with that. So how would you define in this current era of extremely fast-moving markets and extremely fast-moving startups, extremely fast-changing worlds, when a year is too much already? How would you define the ability to find this blue ocean or this green zone, how you say it?
It's pure experimentation. I've lost a lot of money, as in lots. I mean, we have a very rigid sort of hygiene factor checklist to see which project will succeed or fail. There are a bunch of projects I had presented a couple of months ago to a smaller audience. I'm not able to move it. It's a very fascinating, it's actually a very hard problem, by the way. A very hard problem, because if there we wanted to do sort of bring manufacturing and generative AI. It's still there, but I put it back into the freezer. So a lot of ideas will die or will be put back into the freezer. So you should be able to willing to do that. So you have to only identify it through iteration. That's the only way. There is no magic bullet. I have spent a lot of time in projects. There are ideas. There are like a lot of ideas in healthcare. I believe in them.
I don't know. Maybe you found some algorithm that helps you predict the success factors of the future.
Sorry, once again?
Maybe you found some model that can predict the success factors of the future.
But this is just, it's this interaction with my people. So I'm looking for something I don't know, okay? So if you keep, you'll talk to each other. So try to do that. I'd always try to stop people because we have a habit of talking. We all talk. And when I'm in my teams, my co-founder, she thinks I'm sometimes abrasive. I said, oh, I know this. What else do you have to tell me? So, but I have this. I said, no. So sometimes meetings are like 2 minutes. I said, you're not telling me anything new. And I tell them to do the same to me as well. If I say, I said, Terry, but this is nonsense, I have much work to do, so is there something you want to share?
Actually, I have an answer for you. Just this morning, I talked to a guy who showed me something very similar to your fact-checking algorithm, and but he didn't know how to monetize it, and it was just his small playground, small sandbox. But you are making it large with going it to.
That is
brute
force.
So the actual answer is entrepreneurial skills.
That is the brute force mentality. That is pure, again, human ingenuity. You have to push your ideas to the other guys, even if they don't like it. You have to call that VC 20 times. I spoke to a VC just outside this hall. And I hope he's not sitting here. Because he told me some things and I was like, So it's your persistence, your perseverance. You have to push. I mean, I've been pushing this idea for 5 years. I met the OpenAI guys when they were still working on GPT first, right, 2017. And I met a bunch of guys there. The guy who invented Adam, the optimizer, he used to work there. And he's from Utrecht University, from the Netherlands. So I was walking around in OpenAI, and there were a bunch of guys. They decided to push it. So, I mean, okay, let's say there was no OpenAI. Let's say there was nothing here. Let's say Jeffrey Hinton, Joshua Bengio, all these guys were publishing papers after papers, okay? And it's guys like Sam and Greg and all these people, they stood up and they decided that we want to boil the ocean. It's like, oh, this is crazy, okay? But they did it. It was not the hard thing, but it was pure, that sheer gut. I mean, who would buy this? Had they had that internal discussion? So I think it's a monetization issue, which you have to push people that you need this. You have to push them in their hands. So you have to be a bit persistent. You have to shed your skin. I mean, and that's where I mean the multiple skill sets. You are an engineer, you're a developer, you're an inventor, but you should also be the convincer, the persuader, the seducer. You have to push them, and you have to say, hey, you need this because look what's happening. So I don't have any other answer to that. There are a couple of projects I thought about it and I let them go. But this baby, I didn't let go for 6 years because this was the thing I wanted to build. We wanted to build a multimodal data set for the world. This was like 6 years ago when I was doing a talk in Silicon Valley. OpenAI was working on it. And we were just thinking, we need an answer. I'm still on it. I mean, some things you shouldn't let go, Be that bulldog, like bite it and don't let it go. So that's there is no other sort of wisdom. It's just sheer persistence, belief, and sometimes you risk things. You will make new friends. Some people may not like you because you're very pushy, but you got to do that. I wish I had a better answer. Maybe someone else has a better answer. Any other questions? It's time for lunch, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, and may I present you with a certificate for your lecture.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tarry.